Hi neighbor, welcome to Wild Homestead Living. I'm Kevin, and we have two goals here on our homestead, both to grow food for ourselves and be a little more self-sufficient, but also to improve the habitat for the wild animals that live around us. So today we're going to be doing a little work in that regard, planting these evergreen huckleberry bushes. So stay with us and we'll talk a little bit more about these plants and their importance to the wildlife. When we first moved to this property, we had a little bit of a wildlife island right here underneath this hemlock tree. There's some good berry producing plants like this deciduous huckleberry. There's some salal growing low here. We have some salmonberry. There's also some ferns around and things that provide low cover. When we cleared out the garden space, we had tons of rocks, so we just made a rock pile here under the tree as well. Rockeries provide good habitat for especially small reptiles like northern alligator lizards on our property. Some of the bigger rocks, we made a perimeter here and we made a quick bed. Now the process for making that quick bed we did make a video on, so if you're interested in seeing that, please check that out. But the main goal here is we wanted to extend this little island out, reclaim some of the lawn that was formerly around here, which doesn't have much value to wildlife, and really make this a much more inviting place for our wild neighbors. When we first moved in, this post had a bird feeder on top of it. We removed the bird feeder. We left the post because it provides a good perch for birds. Folks put out bird feeders because they want to help wildlife, but we've found in our experience that bird feeders may not be the best way to go about that. Today, we are trying to meet that same goal by planting these evergreen huckleberries. Now, evergreen huckleberries are native to the Pacific Northwest. They do great in our climate. They also do great in partial shade, which is what the hemlock tree is going to provide in this bed. These plants will help wildlife in a variety of ways. First of all, they're going to flower, which is going to provide nectar and pollen for pollinators. Those flowers will eventually become berries, which are going to be eaten by birds, small mammals, a variety of animals. And finally, these are going to grow to be about 6 feet tall and about 6 feet wide. And they're going to create a lot of cover for small birds and mammals. So the bird feeder that we removed provided food for birds. These plants are going to provide a whole lot more. We purchased our huckleberry plants from Raintree, a nursery here in Western Washington. They have some great growing tips online, including instructions on how to plant these guys that we are going to follow. We're going to dig a hole about 1.5 to 2 times the width of this pot and about 1 foot deep. And then we're going to fill that hole with our soil mix. We did make a video about our soil mix, so if you're interested in how that's made, go ahead and check that out. So once these guys are in the ground, we'll give them a good watering, and then we'll top it off with a little mulch so they can get a good start. So our 3 huckleberries are in the ground. We've got some leaf litter here for mulch to protect them a little bit, and we'll be watching them closely in the coming weeks and keeping them nice and watered while they become established. If all goes well, in a few years, these guys will start producing berries, and they'll also be big enough to produce a little bit of shelter and habitat for the wild animals that share our property. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have any comments on the video, feel free to enter them in the comments section below, and we'll see you next time. There's some good berry producing plants like this deciduous, I forgot, huckleberry. That's what we're planting. Oh, be your huckleberry.